This is the AE Phase 1, a vehicle which features a 0.05% drop chance. This is the Lorraine 50-ton, a vehicle that was only sold for about 2 weeks and also featured a 0.05% drop chance. And now, we have the third challenger approaching a ring, the Project Kampfpanzer 07PE. The tank looks sick. And I'm actually a little bummed that it isn't a tier 10, because this is a tier 10 on World of Tanks PC, and a really good one at that. But in Blitz, it's a tier 9 collector heavy. And just like the other two tier 9 collector heavies, it features a nearly impossible drop chance to get your hands on. Over here, we can see how you're going to be able to obtain it, which is through Grand Mystery Boxes, which contains the Kampfpanzer Project 07 and a Grand Mystery Certificate. How do you get your hands on this vehicle? Well, if you want a 50% chance of obtaining the mystery, you would have to open 600 mystery boxes, which is 4 charms for a Grand Mystery. In other words, you would have to spend around 4,050 boxes to get a 99% chance for the Grand Mystery Certificate. Yes, you heard that right, ladies and gentlemen. Getting your hands on this vehicle is basically impossible. We love when Wargaming adds impossible quests into the game for vehicles that look really cool. The camo for this vehicle also is in line. It's called the Mystery, and it is designed off of the mystery boxes. Again, the camo looks sick. It's got a little question mark, not really attachment, but little question mark light beam on the top. I like the tank. It looks really cool, and its statistics seem pretty solid as well. It's just unfortunate that Wargaming proceeds to make these rare tier 9s impossible to get. If you have any one of these two tanks, you're already in the 0.05% of the player base, but now, well, there's another challenger. So, let's take a look at what this vehicle has going for it, and then we're going to take a look at its armor profile and get into some gameplay. Starting off, we have the gun. 380 damage per shot with 373 mils of heat. Honestly, it's a really good gun. DPM-wise is pretty good at 2,270, especially with calibrated shells. Its dispersion and aiming time are solid as well. This is a good gun. And the vehicle has 8 degrees of gun depression, a top speed of 42, a reverse of 18, a solid power to weight ratio of 16, and it's just a fairly flexible tank. So it's got DPM, it's got great penetration, solid pen, aiming time, and mobility. It's honestly a great looking tier 9. I kind of wish it was a tier 10 again. But yeah, the vehicle actually looks really solid as a tier 9. And we can take a look at its armor here, and it's also quite strong. The upper plate is around 300 plus. I mean, even with heat, you're not penning that upper plate because it's spaced armor. Yeah, in other words, basically, if this thing's using gun depression, you will never ever pen the upper plate. The lower plate's pretty weak though, only 90 mils thick, which means that even certain high explosive shells can technically cut through, which is something you're going to have to worry about. While this looks like a pen here, this is actually just non-existent armor, because that's just the plow you're looking at. The turret looks very red, right? Completely overpowered. Well, that's because we're not loading gold. Running calibrated shells on really any tank, it's only got about 299 mils of turret armor, so really the only time you're going to have super effective armor is when you're using gun depression, making it around 340 thick. It's really good when using gun depression, but on flat ground you can expect to be penned quite easily through that mantlet. It does have a hatch, but that hatch is upwards of 250 thick, so honestly, load gold. This is not a weak spot. None of these little spots over here are weak spots. These are just random little tidbits that stick out. So it does have a hatch. You're gonna have to load gold to pen it. And apart from that, yeah, this is a really strong looking tier 9. I actually think that this tank might be one of the strongest tier 9s, which again is very unfortunate because the only way to get it is spending an exorbitant amount of money. And yeah, I think it's a 0.05% drop chance. I don't exactly know how the crates work. All I have is the numbers that I showed you a moment ago, but it's just really disappointing to me that Wargaming releases these tanks into the game for no reason, really. I mean, I guess it's like this poster child that you're supposed to spend X amount of money, and if you see somebody driving it, it's cool and all, but to me, as a person who tries to collect every tier 9, every tier 10, it's really disappointing to see vehicles like this which are literally impossible to get your hands on. But, oh well. Here we are on Mines. This is a pretty good map for this vehicle because obviously Mines is a map that gives you good gun depression positioning, and this is a tank that will be able to use that gun depression quite well. Now, you'll notice this is a large tank, and yeah, she's a big boy. This thing is, it's going to be seen by a lot of people, which isn't very good, but thankfully the mobility is nice, so at least you can get into position quickly. Well, we can see a Progetto on the other side of the map. We can see a defender. Is anybody going mid-hill? Oh, we do have a Boschation. There you go, 387. The Conway bounces me in the back. Well, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm going to try and make my way up mid-hill, and we'll see how that works, especially if the 752 is going to cross. Well, maybe not, but I'm going to get up the hill. Literally, it seems like nobody's here, so I can just peacefully make my way over to the Boschation. Hello, Mr. Boschot. How are you doing? Bonk, 395. You can see that aiming time I was referring to. It's really nice, actually. Like, this gun feels fantastic. The aiming time is great. The gun depression is great. The DPM is solid, as we went over. Like, in general, this is a stupid good tank. So, we got the 50 TP right in front of me, and bonk, there you go, 370 damage shell into the 50 TP. I think bro's off in China right now, because I don't know what he's looking at, but he decided to shoot the 752 over me, which is fine. We're going to get a nice shell ourselves, and we obviously have our adrenaline cooking. Because this tank has a lower alpha of only 380 and a decent amount of DPM, it means that it's pretty easy to get out quick shells into your opponents. So we are already up to 1900 damage this game, and if he pokes, a 752 should most likely clear him. We're going to load in an HE shell, and there you go, nice 437 shell into his tank. Well, we got the Conway right in front. I'm just going to send the Conway. What are you going to do? Well, you're going to bounce me right on the upper plate because this vehicle, as I mentioned, features really good armor on that plow. And even the hatch of this vehicle is super duper strong. So this Conway's probably just bugging out where to shoot me. I think he tried to shoot that little hatch thing that I was talking about before. That's really not a weak spot. So we're just going to chill here. I think that Borsig actually shot the Conway's gun, which is pretty funny, and the shell went into that, but uh-oh. This is not entirely what I like to see. In fact, oh great, oh great. Well, I may have killed myself. The problem is, there's nowhere for me to back up. Well, there is a spot for me to back up, but oh man. Well, I may have bit off a bit more than I could chew in this game. We're going to aim it on the defender, and, well, I guess we don't need to, because he's dead now. We get a nice shell into the Conway, but he does manage to clear me. To be fair, that was my fault. I played a little more aggressive than I should have. I was kind of hoping the 752 wasn't going to die, but when he did, and the defender flexing back as well. To be fair, if that defender didn't flex back, I would have been fine. I just didn't think he was going to. And then when he did, yeah, it didn't go all too well for me. But, on the good news, we are going to win this game. We are already going up on base capture. And the other good news is that I did a pretty solid amount of damage. In fact, I did over 4,000 this game. You can see where this vehicle does a really good job. The lower plate's a big weak spot, and the side armor isn't great too. I honestly probably would have been better off if I had just stayed frontal facing towards that Conway. I probably would have gotten bounces, but unfortunately, I tried to back off and angled the tank. The side armor is not very good on this vehicle, so if you expose your sides, you're quite easily going to be shot. But we're already up to 90 on the base cap. Oh, never mind. Our Sama decided after reaching 90 that he no longer wants to sit in the base and has left. Well, our Waffle is going to get the clear on the enemy turtle, and I'm not going to watch this. And just like that, we get a victory. So, this is a pretty good game, actually. I could have done a lot more, probably close to 5,000, if I had played a little bit more conservative. But I'm not too mad. Whenever I do, 4,000 damage in a very quick battle, I still can't get all too disappointed. We got a second class and a pretty solid result. How does this tank earn credits? Quite a bit, actually. 108,000. Again, doesn't really matter, because nobody's going to get it. Basically, I'm just reviewing the tank for myself right now. But, yeah, that's a pretty good first game, and a great showcase of why I'm so disappointed you won't be able to get your hands on this tank, because it looks great. I mean, it has everything you'd want. It has mobility, DPM, it has armor. it's just a fantastic tier 9, and it's probably the best of the three. The AE Phase 1's solid, but it does feature a really awkward gun in terms of its on-movement dispersion, which I don't like so much. And the Lorraine 50 ton also has awful on-move dispersion, and with that, it also has really bad armor. But this tank, it has really good armor, it has really good mobility, it has solid DPM, it has pen, it has everything that you would want. It's just not available for anybody to get their hands on. But, oh well, here we go, making our way to, well, I guess we're going to go to town. I wanted to go to the bridge, but unfortunately our team does not want to do that. Again, we can see that really nice mobility. I mean, this tank is quick, and we're chilling already at 37, 38. Look at that. I mean, I love the mobility on this tank. I wish more heavies went this kind of speed, because 42 isn't, you know, insanely fast, but it's good enough to quickly get into frontline positioning. And not only that, but it gives you that nice feeling of just maneuverability in general. Now, I need this player to back up. I'm going to push him back. One nice thing about being big and heavy is that you can push people, you know, which it's nice for me because I don't want to be in a situation where I got a G-Sor and a Keeler and everything else over here on me. So this Keeler is getting absolutely clapped. We can see again that quick reload because of the lower alpha damage this vehicle features, and because of that you're able to rip shells out into your opponents. We do have the IS-3, and you can see that really good aiming time as well. The aiming time on this tank is what makes it so nice. I mean, it's just very rare to have a vehicle that feels this good in all the values, but look at that aiming time. It's quick. And there you go, easy shell into the upper plate of the Yag Tiger. We're getting a lot of low rolls, but it doesn't really matter too much because we're still dealing a lot of damage. We're still getting out our shells. We got that Yag Tiger in the back, and that shell did not go where I wanted it to, but not too big of a deal. 5 more seconds, we'll have another shell, so we'll try it again. This tank's armor, again, is super good as well on that upper plate, so it's going to be pretty tricky for the enemy to cut through me anyway. We're just going to push up here and aim it on this Emil. Hello, Emil. Bonk. That's called reticle lag, when you're aiming in on the lower plate, and the gun says, nope, we're going to hit him in some other spot. Let's see if we can maybe bait a shell from him. You know what, I'm just going to face hug him. I'm interested to see how the vehicle does in a face hug here, because once again, as I showed before, this tank in a face hug with that upper plate being like nearly impervious, yeah, this guy just doesn't know where to pen me. We got an easy shell finishing off the Emil, and now we move our way over to the Yag Tiger. So far, this has been a pretty solid game. We got the Yag Tiger and aiming, there you go, 364 into his lower plate. He shot me, it looks like in the lower plate, I can see that APCR shell from here. We're going to reload, we're going to poke the Yag Tiger, we're going to load a gold shell, cut right through a superstructure. Ah, I guess I poked a teeny bit too much of my hull there, and the Yag Tiger was actually able to hit it. And wow, is our module taking a while to repair. Holy, well, I can't really do anything about that. That's the longest I've ever seen a module take to repair. Like, that's actually insane. Bonk, there you go. 336 damaging shell into the Yag Tiger. And we're going to ignore him. We're going to move over to more important opponents, stuff like the... Actually, I'm going to go for the Conway if I can. Conway's right out in the open, and, well, maybe that T-30 is going to make quick work of him, though. That T-30's heading in quickly. Oh, nope, T-30 shoots the Leopard. Okay, well, I'm going to push that Conway. Full speed. Come here, Conway. I'm going to shoot you. Bonk. There you go. Easy shell. Conway bounces me. We lose 117 to that ram. What? Sometimes mechanics in this game make very little sense, but it does not matter as we get the clear and a very, very easy win. This tank is great. It does obviously have weaknesses, but I think that the strengths heavily outweigh them. I mean, it has no real downsides, if you ask me. We blocked 1,900 damage this game, we did over 4,000, we aced the vehicle, and we earned 200,000 credits. This was a really good game. So, honestly, I think this is one of the best tier 9s that I've played in a while, and as I mentioned, I kind of wish it was a tier 10. But at the same time, Wargaming, being the cringy, greedy company they are, made this tank literally impossible to get. So, oh well, I guess if you want to get your hands on this vehicle, good luck. It's really disappointing, but yeah. Let me know what you guys think about the vehicle in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!